Ilang guest, Mark? Ah, Good morning, I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela and we are the Castros.
Uy, good morning sa lahat ng viewers. And ito kasama natin ang...
Init
yeah,
na
mainit.
umaga.
Pero tumatamis ang umaga dahil kasama natin ang second mile
Of
coffee.
course.
Yan, yung atin famous cream puff and wow, itong
Ito.
cake talagang kanina pa tinatawag ang pangalan ko.
Bango no?
Ang bango na amoy. I smell the
Pampakalma
chocolate.
to ng ano natin ngayon dahil napakainit. ng
Oo,
panahon.
madami po nag-cancel ng mga classes at ginagawang online na lang.
Oo,
Because
nag-cancel ng face-to-face classes.
Yes, that's what I meant. Kaya mag-online. Kasi ngayon, 33 degrees Celsius ngayon.
Ngayon pa lang.
Sa San Juan pa lang. Quezon City, I think, pa-approach na ng 36.
At aakit pa daw yan,
Aakyat
di
pa
ba?
yan today,
Pero mamaya pag-usapan natin yan.
Yeah,
Mas malalim na
inaano ko lang yung mga
usapin.
tao na mag-hydrate kayo para walang magkasakit.
Yun.
Okay,
Ano ba?
we're serving you news in a countdown.
All that before your second cup of coffee. This is Brunch.
Let's start off our countdown with Pinoy Pride. A children youth choir from Bicol has clinched a trophy in a competition in Spain. The Baao Children Youth Choir was bested other international choral groups at the 29th Certamen Internacional Juvenil de Habaneras y Polifonia 2024 in Torrevieja, Spain. The group was led by 20-year-old Emmanuel Badong Ramos II, the youngest conductor in the country. This is their second victory in the competition after their first triumph in 2012. Wow, parang ang lamig.
Congratulations.
Lumamig ang umaga.
Alam ko, nasa langit na ako
sarap.
eh.
Kahit di sila kumakanta, pag kasama mo ako, dapat nasa langit ka lagi.
Oh my gosh. hindi.
Hindi, pero congratulations sa
Yes.
choir sa Spain. And hindi naman, in other words, everyone knows na pag Pilipino or Pilipinas, manggagaling sa arts like music and dancing. Di ba? Kaya nga si Simon Cowell noon,
Doon sa mga contest nila, di ba?
Filipino. Kasi pag magaling
Alam na
kumanta.
this.
Pero yung voice nila is napaka-heavenly.
Oo.
This is the second time daw. The last time he won was 2012.
2012. Oo. Tapos every year,
Oo.
kasi between, ilang taon yung mga po pwedeng mag-audition dyan. Every year nag-held sila ng audition.
Children Youth Choir kasi. Baao Children Youth Choir.
Oo. Every year nag-held sila ng audition. Para nga, magkaroon ng pagkakataon ng ibang mga kabataan na makasali.
Ano pangalan lang ano? Sige nga.
Baao.
29th Certamen Internacional Juvenil de Habaneras y Polifonia 2024 in
Congratulations.
Torrevieja, Spain. Congratulations sa Baao Youth Choir.
Alright, let's continue our countdown. Crashing at the 9th spot is the air accident in Malaysia. Two Malaysian Navy helicopters collided mid-air yesterday morning, killing all 10 crew members abroad. The Malaysian Defense Department said the two helicopters were rehearsing for a parade celebrating the 90th anniversary of the Royal Malaysian Navy on Saturday. The Malaysian Navy is currently investigating the cause of the incident. Nung una nga nung lumabas yung video na yan, a lot of people were asking, is this a real video? So of course, they had to confirm kung tama nga yung video na lumabas. So, ayun.
They were rehearsing for an event, rehearsal, tapos nagkamali, nag-collide yung dalawang helicopter. Ayan nag-collide yung dalawang helicopter. Tapos bumagsak. Ilan daw ang
10 crew members.
10 crew members.
Were reported died. So, they're still investigating talaga yung
kung bakit nagka-miss.
Cause of the incident.
Kasi these are Air Force pilots Sanay na yung mga yan sa ganyan.
At can you imagine also kung halimbawa mismong
on the
event, diba? Kasi it's going to be on Saturday, this coming Saturday. Yeah. Diba?
Tapos
pero
kung
still,
bumagsak yung helicopter sa crowd, it would have been a worst catastrophe.
Pero still, diba?
Still,
10 crew members yung namatay dito.
On a simple rehearsal.
Ano kayang naging problema nung kanilang chopper?
Okay, ayan. Let's move on. Switching gears and on to our 8th spot, the Securities and Exchange Commission has requested the removal of Binance from app marketplaces in the Philippines. The SEC sent letters to both Google and Apple requesting the removal of the Binance app in their platforms. SEC Chairperson Emilio Aquino emphasized that the continued accessibility of Binance poses a threat to the security of Filipino investors' funds. He added that blocking Binance's applications will protect the investing public from potential harm to the economy. SEC Fintech Innovation Office Officer in Charge Attorney Paulo Ong says this should not send the wrong message to crypto users in the country.
We see it as we are supporting the local firms or the entities that wish to be under the jurisdiction of the Philippines for the reason that we know that the investments of the people will be more secure rather than dealing with an entity that's not registered here in the Philippines.
Continuing our countdown, the country loses a whopping $890 million or 51 billion pesos a year due to dumping of recyclable plastic instead of repurposing them. That's according to the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or DENR.
To get more insights about this, we have Marlon Pareja. He's a scientist and an environmental professor at De La Salle University, Dasmariñas. Good morning, Prof. First of all, do we know if a plastic is, how do we know if a plastic is recyclable?
Okay, good morning, Angelo and Angela. First of all, usually when we buy products made of plastic, we have to look for the running arrow, the shape like a triangle.
Okay.
And, may number yun, from 1 to 7. That's one of the things that we can do, to be able to know if it's recyclable.
What does that number indicate, Prof? Kasi sabi mo from 1 to 7. So what, the higher the number, the longer it takes to recycle?
The number actually represents a type of plastic. We have what we call high-density polyethylene, low-density polyethylene. So that will tell us the type of material that was used to be able to produce that plastic.
Tapos wait lang, Prof, meron kasi yung tinatawag nilang starch-based, parang may halong konting plastic. These kinds of products na nakikita natin, are they really safe for the environment?
Okay. That's a very good question, kasi meron ngang one time lumalabas yung tinatawag natin biodegradable plastics. But most of the time they are not actually biodegradable. Ang nangyayari lang sa kanila nagdi-disintegrate lang sila into small pieces. And if they are really made of plastic, ito yung sumusunod na nagiging major problem natin and that is the problem of microplastics. Ito yung nagiging microplastics, and a lot of studies now are saying na itong mga microplastics na to are already part of our food ecosystem, yung
Yes.
food chain natin. Diba? So,
Tama.
parang nakakain na natin yung mga microplastics
And even
na to.
in raindrops daw, Professor, nakikitaan na ng mga microplastics. Tama po?
Yes, pagka sumasama sila sa atmosphere and then during precipitation or during raining, sumasama to doon sa part ng pollutants na nare-release.
Now, okay, Prof, no, going back dun sa sinabi natin kanina na $880 million or 51 billion pesos ang nawawala sa atin dahil nga dito sa pagtatapon ng recyclable plastic, no, instead na i-repurpose ito. So, aside from this po, ano pa po yung other impacts of pagtatapon ng mga plastic ng hindi tama?
Okay. I think the good secretary, nabasa ko yung article na yan, no? As discussed by the good DNR secretary. Aside from the possible yung economic opportunities, no, which I think equals to about $890 million. Yung impact niya na, let's say, katulad niya, no, yung pinapakita natin ngayon sa ating monitor, na it becomes a water pollutant. At kapag siya ay water pollutant, hindi natin nagagamit as resource yung water. Aside from that, nagkakos siya ng, siyempre, yung tinatawag nating waterborne diseases, which again becomes a burden to the government. Kasi, siyempre, pag nagkasakit yan, pupunta yan sa mga ospital, cost din yun sa government, no? At the same time, nililinis natin siya, no? Nagkakaroon tayo ng mga clean up, no? And cost pa rin yun, no? So, yun yung mga aside from that, no, pagka may mga disaster, kapag may mga hazards katulad ng malalakas ng ulan, nagiging source sila ng obstruction, nagkukos siya ng flood. So, eventually, nagiging costly sa atin because hindi nagiging tama yung pag-dispose natin sa mga plastics.
Yan, Prof, I see, nakikita natin sa video ngayon, no? Ang daming plastics na nagka-clog ng waterways natin sa metro. Ang question ko is, sometimes kasi pag linilinis natin yan, gumaganda yung flow nito. Ang question is, what are the long-term effects na kahit tinanggal mo yung physical plastic from these waterways, meron pa naiiwan na contaminant dyan? Ano yung long-term effect nito sa waterways natin and how far out into the ocean does this reach?
Okay, magandang tanong din yun, no, Sir Angelo. No? Kasi based sa studies, no, sa survey, ang Philippines is the third largest contributor ng plastic pollutants in the world. No? After China and Indonesia, pangatlo tayo. Siyempre, sa part ng productivity natin, no, sa fish productivity, yung iba dyan nakakain ng biodiversity. Nagka-clog din nagiging part din siya ng pollutant. No? So, and we also have to consider, syempre, kahit sabihin nating matagal ang degradation ng mga plastics na yan, they unti-unti nagdi-degrade. So, papasok na naman tayo sa concern with regards to microplastics. So, may health concern din siya sa atin.
Ito po bang pagtatapon natin ng plastic, meron po ba tong connection doon po dito sa current weather condition that we are experiencing right now? Mas matagal ba yung kumbaga mag-degrade yung isang plastic? Let's say for example, before ang pag-aaral nila, ang diaper daw 400 years ang madidegrade ito or madidecompose rather. Meron po bang link yun sa ating weather condition that we are experiencing right now?
Yes, tama yun. Ma'am, dalawa yung posibleng link niya. Unang-una, plastics are made from fossil fuels. So, ito ay, yung fossil fuel, ito rin yung ginagamit natin sa gasolina, sa diesel, at sa source ng energy natin. And base sa pag-aaral, ang plastic industry or manufacture ng plastic contributes to 3% of the greenhouse gas emissions. At alam naman natin, itong greenhouse, ito yung nagiging cause ngayon ng global warming, no? So yung climate change. So sa side ng sources, may kinalaman yung plastic. No? Sa side naman ng impact, may kinalaman din yung plastic kasi katulad ngayon, no? Dahil may pollutant tayo sa tubig, mayroon tayong mga basura sa tubig, hindi natin nakokolekta, hindi natin nagagamit tong water resources na to lang tama, na sana ay nakakatulong para ma-ease yung ating problem in terms of temperature, no, yung drought, hindi natin nagagamit yung mga resources na to, no. So sana meron tayong mas maraming, let's say, public places na pwedeng paliguan, di ba? Kasi mainit ang panahon, di ba? So, ano siya, ang tawag nga din, nakaka-aggravate siya doon sa existing problem natin.
Yeah, I wanted to ask that, Prof. No? Kasi yung temperatures natin are approaching the 50-degree mark in terms of heat index. Now, since itong heat warms up the water, yung waterways natin, may mga plastic tayo, nag-accelerate po ba ang pag-breakdown ng plastics into microplastics because of the heat? Is it nagsispeed up ba ang pag-contaminate sa water?
Yes, yes sir, no, pwede siyang makadagdag doon. But i-consider din natin na kapag umiinit ang isang bagay, nag-e-expand siya. So pagka nag-e-expand siya, katulad ng plastic, natutunaw siya, pwedeng yung mga maninitis na plastic na yon, pwedeng sumama na yung kanyang small pieces or microplastics as pollutants. At the same time, yung tubig, lumalaki yung volume niya, kung yun ay mga obstruction, so nagko-contribute na siya dun sa clogging ng mga space, yung mga supposed to be dapat maayos sa daluyan ng tubig.
We've seen a lot of campaigns, no, especially this past couple of years regarding nga po dito sa mga, kumbaga, repurposing yung mga plastic waste natin. But still, kapag bagyo, nakikita pa rin natin, di ba, yung mga estero, yung mga kanal na punong-puno pa rin ng iba't ibang plastic, no? Plastic waste, no? What else should we do, Professor, para to make sure po, kumbaga, yung campaign na ito ay nabibigay lang po, hindi lamang dito sa Metro Manila, but also in other parts of our country?
Okay, magandang question yan, ma'am. No? Unang-una, we did a study about 3 years ago sa Metro Manila with regards to the efficiency. No? Gaano ka-efficient ang mga LGU natin in terms of collection ng plastic, ng solid waste in general. And we found out na medyo mababa yung efficiency, no? Yung how they were able to collect the waste that were generated at paano siya nako-collect. No? Kaya marami tayong makikita na bakit nasa mga waterways pa itong mga to, di ba? One of the primary reason is under kasi sa batas ng RA 9003, dapat sa household pa lang nagsisegregate na tayo. So in terms of implementation nun, medyo kailangan strengthen pa ng LGU yung implementation nun. Kasi may mga LGU na hindi talaga kasi nagpapatupad ng segregation. Basta ano lang, nabubulok lang or hindi nabubulok. So, kumbaga, kung hindi siya segregated, parang lahat ng basura na yun, kukunin mo. No? Kasi ideally, dapat, kung nagsisegregate tayo, nakukuha na natin yung recyclable plastics. And sa process, dapat nakukuha na yun ng mga junk shop owners, di ba? And para makapunta sa mga recyclers. So, pero kung dahil hindi tayo properly nagsisegregate, hindi natin siya nare-recover. And I think that contributes to what the good secretary said, no, about yung hindi natin nagagamit. Pangalawang reason is, I think, is hindi rin talaga kaya ng LGU in terms of capacity yung pagko-collect ng lahat ng basura. Pero magagawa niya yon again, kung magkakaroon siya ng segregation, strict implementation ng segregation. Because basta sa waste analysis, 75% ng ating solid waste sa bahay, kaya nating ma-recover.
Oo.
Hindi lang natin siya nare-recover actually.
Oo. Actually, dagdag ko lang dun naalala ko rin in connection dun sa question ni Diego kanina. I think mas maigi, I don't know if you would agree with me on this, Professor, na mabigyan din po ng campaign awareness yung kung anong plastic yung maigi na i-repurpose. Kasi po, sinasabi na like yung mga ice cream containers na pwedeng yung iba ginagamit po nila yung paulit-ulit, lagayan ng isda, 'di ba? Akala na ng mga tao ice cream pa rin nakalagay. Sinasabi po nila may mga chemicals din po iyon na hindi rin maganda na inuulit-ulit. Your thoughts on that?
Tama 'yun, ma'am, may mga lifespan, lalo na yung mga food grade na plastic, yung mga plastic na pwedeng lagyan ng pagkain. May life cycle sila na hindi natin sila pwedeng gamitin paulit-ulit. So, siguro, tama po kayo doon na kailangan natin ng awareness. At the same time, I think we also need to to empower yung tinatawag nating informal waste sector. Ito po yung mga naglilinis sa kalsada, nangongolekta ng
Right.
basura, kasi nakakatulong din sila sa segregation, no? Kasi katulad minsan may mga ano po tayo, no, may mga household tayo na nagsisegregate sila, no? Pero pagka kinolekta ng garbage collector, sasama-sama din. No? So yung kailangan din ng ganung intensive na awareness din sa ating mga kasama sa waste sector na paigtingin din 'yon.
Yun.
But nonetheless, mahalaga talaga yung will din ng government, no, to be able to implement the segregation code.
Ayun. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. Marami kami natutunan sa inyo. Thank you so much, Professor Marlon Pareja. Siya po ay isang scientist and an environmental professor sa De La Salle University, Dasmariñas. Thank you so much.
Salamat po. Good morning.
Ang isa pang dapat paigtingin natin, yung pagbabawas ng paggamit ng sachets.
Yun, I wanted to ask him about yung sachet economy natin.
Oo,
How do you do that? Kasi
sa susunod.
ang 80% ng production ng mga private companies is sachets.
Oo. Kasi di ba tayo, yung
That's all-
karamihan sa atin,
Yun
hindi
ang ma-afford.
makayang bumili ng maramihan. Oo. Sige, but coming up, more areas in the country are expected to experience dangerous levels of heat index today.
And President Bongbong Marcos speaks up about the feud between the First Lady and the Vice President. May kinampihan kaya siya? If I were PBBM, stick with the wife. Huwag ka kakampi sa ibang babae.
Kapag minangaaway
No,
ba
no,
sa akin, kakampi ka sa iba?
And never.
No-brainer, di ba?
No-brainer.
Mrs. Always Right ba? Anyway, iba naman to. Country yung pinag-uusapan.
Lalo na ata, nag-anniversary ata sila the other day, di ba? Oh.
But we are just getting started, mga kapatid. More of our top 10 news when Brunch returns. Keep it here on One News. watching Brunch here on One News. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, kaya napatagal yung break natin sa Gap eh.
Oh.
Kasi sabi namin, wait lang ha, kakain muna kami.
Oo, masarap nito.
Masarap ang chocolate cake ng Second Mile Coffee.
Hindi ako masyado mahilig sa chocolate cake pero this one.
Matatikman mo na?
Oo, tikman ko na.
Tikman mo na.
Saraulo ka.
Okay.
Okay, sige, let's continue our countdown. Bilis ng panahon. Top 7 na po tayo. Aside from El Nino, the province of Occidental Mindoro is now also facing power woes. Here's the report.
President Bongbong Marcos visited Occidental Mindoro on Tuesday. He led the distribution of aid for farmers and fisher folk. These include financial assistance and equipment for workers. Recall that the Agriculture Department has also allocated over 1 billion pesos for the province.
Kahit kumpleto lahat ng ating urea, yung ating fertilizer, kahit kumpleto lahat ng pesticide natin, kahit kumpleto ang ating mga farm equipment, pagka mahina ang daloy ng tubig ay nababa pa rin ang ani. Kaya yun ay babaguhin natin.
The province is under a state of calamity because of El Nino. According to the provincial government, the cost of damage has reached 900 million pesos.
Kami po ay isang agricultural province. Kapag dapa ang magsasaka, dapa po ang aming ekonomiya. Ang aming mga palayan ay tuyo na, pati po ang aming mga ilog.
But that's not their only problem.
Kami po ay nasa state of power crisis. Napakamahal po ng presyo ng kuryente namin. 20 kilowatt per hour, habang ang Meralco po, 12 kilowatt per hour lamang.
Only one power provider supplies electricity across the province. Aside from frequent brownouts, residents also complain of high electricity bills.
Ewan ko nga po, parang lalo naman lumalaki. Kahit anong tipid po namin, talagang kada bill po, talagang mataas ang kuryente namin.
Marcos says the problem will be addressed once the Mindoro Island is connected to the Luzon grid. The National Grid Corporation of the Philippines vows to complete the process by next year. In San Jose, Occidental Mindoro, for News 5, I'm Brian Basa, and we are One News.
Let's move on.
Gising ka na.
Naano ako sa sugar eh. Let's move on to the next. It's getting hot in our sixth spot. More than 20 areas in the country are expected to experience dangerous level of heat indices today. Based on Pagasa's forecast, Pili, Camarines Sur will sizzle the most today with a whopping 46 degrees Celsius heat index. Wow! 5 areas will experience a heat index of 45 degrees Celsius. These are Dagupan City, Apari in Cagayan, San Jose in Occidental Mindoro, Puerto Princesa City, and Aborlan in Palawan. Pasay, Tuguegarao, and Giwan in Eastern Samar will feel the 44 degree Celsius heat index. 8 areas are expected to have a 43 degree Celsius heat index, including Quezon City, and 13 areas are listed under the 42 degree Celsius heat index. Residents in the affected areas are advised to stay indoors and hydrated to avoid any heat-related illnesses.
Now, to get more information about this, we have Pag-asa Impact Assessment and Application Section OIC Meliton Guzman.
Good morning, Meliton. Anong area sa bansa ba makakaranas ng pinakamataas na temperature today para at least man lang makaprepare kami?
Nakamute po kayo.
Yun, Meliton, nakamute po.
Yun.
Okay na po, sir.
Yes,
we
thank you
can
very
hear
much.
you now. That's better.
Meliton, ano ba yung mga areas na ma-experience sa pinakamataas na temperature today?
So, sa ngayon po, sir, ang matataas po na area na mararanasan po natin, mararanasan ng ibang lugar, ay ang one po is Metro Manila, Tuguegarao City, ito pong Olonga po, SPMA Olonga po, Lipa, isa rin po ang Apari Cagayan, and then San Jose po.
Okay, yung sa mga nabanggit nyo, anong oras usually papalo yung peak nitong heat index during the day? What time today, usually?
Usually, papalo po yun from minsan 11 to 3 o'clock po.
Okay.
Or 4.
Yun yung
11 a.m. to 4 p.m. po.
yung kasagsagan ng init.
Kaya pala ang advice nila, ang advice na pag-asa is during those times, no, stay indoor muna.
As much as
Opo, sir.
possible.
As much as possible.
Okay, Meliton, yung question ko din, is it possible ba itong heat index na to will go beyond 50 degrees Celsius in the coming days? Kasi nakikita natin yung trend, pataas talaga siya ng pataas. It started with 33, 35, ngayon 45 na. Your thoughts on that po?
Opo ma'am, maaari po, posible pong tumaas pa ho ng mahigit 50 degrees ang ating heat index dahil po mataas po ang ating air temperature at ang yung relative humidity.
Linawin lang po natin, more than 50? That's a possible po? Possibility?
Yes po. Posible pong tumaas po hanggang 50 degrees. Mahigit more than 50 degrees yung ating heat index from this April up to May po.
Oh.
Ano yan, Meliton, mag-average ba ng 50? Kasi madami na nagtatanong. Siyempre, napapanood na natin sa news sa ibang bansa about yung heat wave. How long, ano yung temperature na kailangan i-maintain and for how long bago maging heat wave siya?
Sa atin po ngayon, hindi pa kami nagbibigay ng heat wave. Pero ang pagkakaalam ko po, 5 degrees increase sa normal temperature within 5 days, 3 to 5 days.
Sunod-sunod.
3 to 5 days po.
So yung kunyari, ang normal natin is 35. Pag mag-maintain ka ng 40 for 5 days.
For 5 days, maaaring magkaroon na po ng heat wave. Pero sa ngayon po, hindi pa kami nagbibigay ng ganong sitwasyon po.
Wala pa naman na na-monitor na naging ganon.
Wala pa naman.
Okay, at least we're clear on
Before
that.
you move on that, Meliton, gusto ko lang itanong, how dangerous is 50 degrees kung ma-expose tayo sa ganyang kainit na temperatura?
So, heat cramps, heat exhaustion, heat stroke, saka yung minsan, yung pagkakahilo po ba, nahihilo tayo, or minsan dinudugo tayo sa ilong, maaaring mangyari pa po, ganun na po ang kataas ang ating heat index po.
Nako. At kahapon po kasi, na-monitor din natin, meron pong ilang mga areas dito sa Metro Manila na nagkaroon po ng mga konting pag-ulan. With regard to that, are we also monitoring any low pressure area that may become a storm para po sa darating na mga araw?
Sa ngayon po, wala naman po tayong nakikita mga low pressure area. So, ang meron lang po tayo, maaaring mangyari lang po yung mga thunderstorm or scattered rain showers lang po.
Anong areas po in Luzon may expect natin yan? Yung mga thunderstorm and rain showers?
Ang almost entire Luzon po ang makakaranas po ng localized thunderstorm.
Okay.
Sabi nga po nila medyo matagal-tagal po hanggang May, makakaranas po tayo ng napakainit na panahon. Others are asking already, kailan po ba magkakaroon ng mga rainfall sa Luzon?
Siguro po mga mid of June, kung ganun po ang pan natin. Na-expect po natin na magkaroon po ng rainfall.
Alright.
Pag-ulan.
Sige. Patuloy po kami makikipag-coordinate sa inyo para po sa iba pang mga update po dito sa ating weather. For the meantime, maraming salamat po sa inyo. That was Pag-asa Impact Assessment and Application Section, OIC Meliton Guzman. Thank you so much.
Maraming pong salamat din po.
Okay. Dumako na tayo sa may init din na usapan.
Mainit na nga, mainit pa na usapan.
Oo, sige. Let's continue our countdown. Moving over to our top 5, cases of pertussis or whooping cough in the country climbed to over 1,500. The health department has so far logged 49 deaths this year due to the illness. The agency is now ramping up efforts to get vaccines, including the emergency procurement of some 5 million shots. Meanwhile, cases of measles, or tigdas has climbed to more than 1,800. The DOH says 48% of the cases were recorded in the Bangsamoro region. Around 1 million have been vaccinated against measles this year. Usually yung mga may init na panahon measles, diba? Chickenpox yan yung mga
ang dami nga
tumataas.
nagtatanong, bakit parang nabubuhay yung mga lumang sakit, diba? We have measles, we have
Itong pertussis,
pneumonia, naglalabasan. Sabi kasi ng DOH din, during pandemic kasi, na-highlight masyado yung COVID
vaccine.
Na yung drive nila to have other children vaccinated born during this period, hindi masyadong
nabigyan ng pansin.
Because ang attention natin at that time was yung COVID-19. Pas naka-lockdown tayo.
Oo. And I remember during the pandemic, may ilang mga pediatrician sa mga nagpa-interview, nagkaroon sila ng mga vaccination drive.
Yes.
Drive-through pa nga ang tawag nila doon.
Drive-through.
Iba, hindi kasi karamihan nakagawa para doon sa mga pasyente nila. To make sure yung mga babies, kasi nga natatakot ilabas yung mga babies, yung mga magulang nila during that time na makapagpabakuna nga itong mga importanteng vaccines para sa mga infants.
Oo, tsaka kasi at that time, for newborns, to get a vaccine, medyo mababa ang cost kasi noon.
Oo.
Halos triple ang cost because yung mga administer ng vaccine, naka-PPE.
Oo.
Syempre, you have to shoulder the cost of PPE sa hospital kasi mahal ang PPE per use. One-time use lang gagamitin yun usually pag na-expose na sa taong may COVID.
Okay, sige.
Okay, let's move on. Sizzling at the fourth spot is Senator Bongo. The senator accused Social Welfare Secretary Rex Gatchalian of politicizing financial assistance program. Go said the DSWD allegedly had a directive of not mentioning his name as a sponsor of the assistance to individuals in crisis situation or ICE payout in Alaminos, Pangasinan. The senator also reported that some provinces are experiencing delays of ICE payout, but the money is immediately distributed if Gatchalian is scheduled to visit a province. Go then asked Gatchalian, "Are you doing this because you're running for the Senate?" Gatchalian denied Go's assumptions.
I am not using the office for my politics, and I categorically state that I am not running for any position this coming election. That's for the record.
Kailang election?
This election, I'm not running for any public office this coming election.
2025.
Yes. But I'm not running for this coming election. It's the first time in 18 years.
How about 2028?
Uy, hindi natin narinig yung sagot.
About 2028.
Oo nga, how about
Hindi, pero alam mo, when you help kasi, you're not supposed to publicly
Kasi
flaunt it
Just for the context, nag-ugat yung parang inquiry na ito dahil nga medyo mabagal yung mga payout dito nga dun sa ICE program. Tapos, meron daw narinig itong si Senator Bongo na merong directive si DSWD Chief Rex Gatchalian na wag daw babanggitin ang pangalan ni Senator Bongo during the payout.
I want to know ano yung context nun, yung proper context, so we know. Kasi ang alam ko din, DSWD had this standing order long time ago, especially pag namimigay ng pag-crisis situations. Kasi ang dami daw dumarating na aid na may mga mukha ng mga politiko sa mga plastic bags na pinamimigay. And tarang this admin also dissuaded them from doing, kahit sa panahon ni Pangulong Duterte, ayaw nila ng ganun. So we want to know kung ano yung context ito. Now, to get more information about this issue, we have DSWD Assistant Secretary Irene Dumlao.
Good morning, ASEC. Are you there?
Hi. Yes.
Yeah.
Good morning. Magandang umaga, Ma'am Angela and Sir Diego. And of course, magandang umaga din po sa lahat ng sumusubaybay ng inyong programa.
Okay, thanks for joining us today. Can you explain to us po itong tila accusation ni Senator Bongo na bumubilis daw po yung proseso ng distribution ng aid sa isang probinsya kapag pupuntahan mismo nito ni DSWD Chief Rex Gatchalian?
Okay. Pertaining to that concern, na-explain naman ni Secretary Rex Gatchalian yesterday about the implementation of the emergency cash transfer in Mindanao. If we could recall po, the last part of 2023, nagkaroon po ng pag-uulan, ng earthquakes in the in the Mindanao region. And apart from the family food packs and non-food items that the DSWD has been providing to those who have been affected, meron din po tayong emergency cash transfer na ipinatupad. Ito ay iba pa po doon sa assistance to individuals in crisis situations.
Yes.
Ito po kasing emergency cash transfer natin ay it's relief assistance, no? And pwede rin po siyang support for early recovery and rehabilitation. This support actually enables yung mga disaster-affected families na tumugon or mag-respond doon sa kanilang emergency requirements during the response phase and assist them in transitioning to early recovery and eventually return to normalcy. Meron po kasing triggers for this to be activated.
Yes, yes.
Unang-una, dapat merong declaration yung affected community ng state of calamity. And then may isinasagawa na rapid damage assessment and needs analysis. So, with that process that's being done, kinakailangan pumunta si Secretary Rex Gatchalian, personally oversee yung pong ginagawa na Ardana in consultation, of course, with local officials.
So, go ahead po, go ahead.
Yes. So ito po yung naging proseso. It's not actually a delay. Kasi continuous naman po yung pagpo-provide natin ng mga family food packs and non-food items. But with respect to the provision nga po of emergency cash transfer, there has been a process that was undertaken. Napakahalaga po kasi yung Ardana na isinagawa para makita natin kung meron na ba mga nag-open na mga establishments that could supply other needs of those who are affected? Hindi po ba? Kasi even if magbibigay tayo ng cash assistance pero wala naman po silang pagbibilhan ng mga establishmento, magiging futile yung exercise. So yun po yung isa sa mga tinitignan po natin. Definitely it's not a delay but it's a process that we have to undertake.
Idagdag ko lang to, no, Diego, kasi yung sa sinasabi niyo po, which areas po ba, para po malinaw tayo, yung nabigyan po nitong emergency cash transfer at ito mga areas po, malinaw na nadeklara po sila ng state of emergency, tama po?
Tama po. In fact, itong mga areas na naapektuhan ng throw line of the low pressure area and the shear line, affected po yung Davao de Oro, Davao del Norte, Davao Oriental. Yeah. So, in fact, until now, no, meron pa rin po tayong mga ina-assist. Dahil itong mga munisipyo dito, nagdeklara sila ng state of calamity and then nag-identify sila ng mga affected na mga families. And then again, part of our process also is to validate yung mga naapektuhan because some beneficiaries might have been assisted na with other assistance being provided by the DSWD. But then again, we are not naman kasi precluded also to continuously provide assistance. Kasi based on the ECT guidelines, pwede kasi tayo mag-provide ng 30 days equivalent ng ECT, but we can go as far as 90 days. Again, depende po doon sa assessment na isinasagawa.
Okay. And ASEC, another issue that arose from this most recent pag-usap ni Senator Go at ni Secretary Gatchalian was there supposedly, I would like to clarify, may directive daw sa inyo not to mention Senator Go's name kahit siya daw mismo ang nagbigay ng sarili niyang pera sa IX distribution, particularly po sa Alaminos, Pangasinan. And with that question, I would like to clarify, I'd like to ask also, atong po ang protocol ng DSWD with regards to mentioning other politicos po pag namimigay ng aid?
Alright. Unang-una, Sir Checo, we would like to mention that the DSWD exercises and maintains the highest level of professionalism in the delivery of social protection programs and services. May mga guidelines po tayo na sinusunod. There's a system of verification sa pagtukoy ng mga beneficiaries. But at the same time, we value the partnership with local officials. We also respect yung oversight functions of our legislators, especially if they wanted to observe yung pong conduct ng ating mga payout activities. But at the same time, we insulate the department's programs mula sa iba't ibang uri po ng political influences. There are instances that our regional offices will have to communicate and coordinate with local officials, particularly sa pag-request ng provision ng venue for the payout activity, ng presence ng law enforcement agencies to ensure orderly and safe conduct of our payouts. So, nagkaroon po talaga ng coordination with local officials, but we make it a point that we remain apolitical and that the programs and the services of the department, including its delivery, ay personal po talaga na binamanage ng DSWD personnel.
So with the case of Senator Bongo, it was not a directive particularly aimed at him, but rather it's common practice as much as possible pag may mga ayuda ibibigay, hindi i-mention yung politiko. Is that what you're saying, Asek?
As mentioned yesterday, there was no specific directive. On the presence of a particular official. Pangala po, sabi ko nga, we insulate the program and services from any form of political influences.
Oo. Follow-up question lang po dito, Asek. I understand the coordination ay kailangan po pagdating po dito, pagpupunta kayo sa mga LGUs, kailangan po ng coordinations. Pero pero kapag po sila mismo, kunyari po si Mayor, si Vice Mayor, nagsabi na gusto po nila pumunta doon po sa inyong gagawing distribution, do you allow them to do that?
Well, since the conduct of the payouts are done in the municipality, dun po sa kanilang area of jurisdiction or responsibility, they may always go, but it's clear that the program that is being implemented is that of the national government.
Okay. Asek, I'd like to take this opportunity also to ask about, siyempre El Nino ngayon, so I'd like to ask ano yung update po natin with regards to DSWD helping those affected ditong current El Nino phenomenon?
Well, Sir Diego, patuloy ang DSWD sa pagpro-provide ng mga family food packs doon sa mga naapektuhan po ng El Nino. In fact, as of this morning, batay po doon sa pinakahuli na report ng DSWD, we have provided family food packs to affected families nationwide. Yeah, I'm just drawing my report kung magkano na po yung total cost of assistance that has been extended by the DSWD.
Okay.
But at the same time, apart from the humanitarian assistance, the DSWD is also implementing Project Lawa and Binhi. Ito naman po ay a proactive measure that assist yung mga apektadong mga communities and families to come up with more sustainable solutions to address yung water scarcity and food insecurity. Right. So sa Project Lawa or Local Adaptation to Water Resource, we employ cash for training and cash for work na kung saan we provide temporary income to these partner beneficiaries while we're providing information para ma-address nila o yung effect ng climate change. And then they are also able to participate in community-driven development projects that could address yung particular need ng kanilang community, like construction of small farm reservoir, water cistern, water collection facilities. So, ito yung mga isinasagawa natin under the Project Lawa.
Opo. Asek, taking this opportunity na rin to ask you about your recently launched program designed to prevent more teenage pregnancy.
Yes. The DSWD has issued a Memorandum Circular Number 11, Series of 2024. Ito po yung guidelines natin for the national implementation of Project Protectin or yung psychosocial support and other interventions for adolescent mothers and their families. Ang objective po ng Project Protect Teen ay to provide avenue for advocacy and public awareness on adolescents' motherhood and its impact to themselves, together with their partners, or their spouses, and together with their families. Also, it aims to create a supportive home environment para po ma-improve nila yung kanilang ability to support adolescent mothers and improve their abilities to undertake parenting and social roles. At the same time, may empowerment strategies ito for adolescent fathers and their partners. And we also provide avenues for them to have access to a variety of social protection measures. So pwede pong sa education, sa livelihood, employment. And apart from that, we also provide information to them para ma-prevent yung cases of wanted pregnancies or yung maulit, yung kanilang maagang pagbubuntis.
Tama.
Isa po ito sa mga interventions ng DSWD aligned with the issuance of Executive Order number 141, Series of 2021, which adopts as a national priority the implementation of measures para nga po ma-address natin yung root causes of the rising number of teenage pregnancies. And of course, mobilizing yung government agencies for the purpose.
Oo, lumataas na po talaga kasi ang numero ng mga teenage pregnancies. But thank you so much for your time. Maraming salamat po sa pag-accept ng aming tawag. DSWD ASEC, Irene Dumlao.
Maraming salamat din po, Ma'am Angela and Sir Diego. At sa inyo pong programa sa pagbibigay daan po sa DSWD. Thank you very much po.
Alright. Sige, let's continue our countdown. Ranking third in our countdown is the latest on the fire incident at the NAIA parking lot. The Manila International Airport, or MIAA, insisted that they have no obligation to the car owners affected by the fire. MIAA said the parking lot's concessionaire Philippine Skylanders International, or PSI, should be accountable for the incident. PSI committed to pay the affected car owners but insisted that this is not an admission of fault or negligence. The Bureau of Fire Protection said they will help the car owners in claiming their insurance for damaged vehicles.
Nagre-release po tayo ng fire incident certificate pag affected po sila ng fire po, para makaklaim sila ng insurance po sa insurance company sa vehicles po.
Well, at least may some clarity. Malinaw na no admission of guilt, pero they will assist car owners in at least recovering kung ano man lang pwedeng i-recover. Kasi hindi lahat ng mga nasunog na sasakyan sa parking lot na yan may comprehensive insurance, may full coverage. May mga medyong cars na 10 years and above kasi, yung coverage niya is certain accident, hindi nasakop. Lalo na ang comprehensive, pag fully damaged ang car, hindi na nila hindi na nila ayusin yan or i-replace. Usually, they'll pay you kung ano yung current market value ng car. Minsan malulugi ka pa.
And as of yesterday, nung nabasa natin, at saka doon sa nakausap natin, taga-MIAA, si Attorney Bandijo,
yes,
diba? Parang 6 o 7 pa lang yung nagkiklaim.
Siguro
mga
kasi
kotse na nasunog doon sa parking lot.
Apparently, yung iba siguro are still out of town. And
nasa flight pa.
Well, I could imagine what yung shock na maramdaman nila pagbalik dito.
But we will still continue, diba, to get updates on this. And hopefully, makausap tayong lawyers on paano nga ba talaga, diba, yung pananagutan yung sa parking. Kasi sa parking lot, may mga nakakuha tayo, diba, ng mga tickets na hindi liable ang parking.
Mas lalo na kung nanggaling sa isang kotse ang
Oo, sige. Lilinawin natin
ang fire.
But this time around, isa pong nakakalungkot na balita, former Senator Rene Saguisag has died at the age of 84. Rene's family confirmed his passing in a statement posted by his son Rebo Saguisag. Rebo says his father's tireless endeavors as a human rights advocate, lawmaker, and writer stand as a testament to his unwavering commitment to justice, truth, and democracy. Rene Saguisag served as a senator from 1987 to 1992. Okay, our condolences to the families.
Alright, don't go away because we're not done yet. May dalawa pa tayo. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Brunch here on One News. Anak ko, nagpa-apekto sa init yung mga viewers
Kalma
natin.
na, kalma.
Nag-aaway.
Nagmamana sa atin yung mga viewers.
Sila nag-aaway.
Mana sa angkor.
Pero okay, maganda naman debate nila sa comments.
okay
Sige lang, kung gusto niyo malaman ano nangyayari, mag-comment din kayo sa Facebook feed namin. Makisali kayo sa debate ng mga
chill lang.
nagdi-debate. Okay naman
Chill
debate,
lang,
nakaka-stimulate ng intelligence.
Oo.
Alright, let's move on to the next. Now going straight to our top two. More Chinese vessels were observed in the West Philippine Sea as the 2024 Balikatan exercises between the U.S. and the Philippines kicks off. Starting yesterday, the number of vessels surged to over 100 from only around 50 in the previous weeks. Most Chinese
Our monitoring showed us that there's no significant increase in the PLA Navy or the Coast Guard. However, there was a surge in the maritime militia from the previous 2 weeks.
Most Chinese maritime militia vessels are encircling the Ayungin Shoal, where the BRP Sierra Madre is grounded. 2 of the monitored Chinese maritime militia vessels also came as close as 30 nautical miles from Rizal, Palawan.
Westcom and Naval Forces West were monitoring them, and Westcom dispatched a Coast Guard vessel to intercept them. However, when the Coast Guard vessel got to their track, both ships were gone.
O di ba yesterday may binanggit ako sa'yo about yung sa sinking exercises ng Balikatan
Chinese boat pa.
na nagkataon na yung na-decommission na ship is made in China. So nagkakaroon ng mali siya.
Plus yung umaaligid yung mga vessels ng China. Siyempre they're concerned about these exercises kasi malaki ang contingent ng Balikatan ngayon. Plus modern military warfare equipment are being used and demonstrated by US and France. Diba? So
Marami tayong pag-uusapan dyan, pero this time around, ano muna ang ating top 1? Our top one for today, a follow-up on the feud between the First Lady and the Vice President. Here's the report.
President Bongbong Marcos has spoken up about apparent feud between his wife, First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos, and Vice President Sara Duterte. The president says Liza was just being a protective wife. Recall that the First Lady hit the VP for supposedly laughing when the president was called bangag. That remark came from Sara's father, former President Rodrigo Duterte.
First of all, my first reaction is what a lucky husband I am. That I have a wife na very protective sa akin, na kahit na may nakita hindi magandang sinabi tungkol sa akin, talagang she gets very upset. I guess we cannot blame her.
The VP earlier said that Liza's feelings have nothing to do with her post as a government official. This comes amid calls from some lawmakers for her to resign as Education Secretary. But that does not sit well with the President.
Any of the cabinet secretaries will be replaced pag hindi nila ginagawa yung trabaho nila. All the other things are not part of the discussion. Pag hindi na kaya, nagkasakit, sabihin mo na, di papalitan ka namin. O hindi talaga marunong, o corrupt, di ba? Tatanggalin ka talaga namin. Hindi naman ganun si Inday.
Marcos says his working relationship with Duterte will remain intact.
protective wife.
Sige, tsaka tayo mag-banter about that. Tomorrow, to be continued. Thank you so much, Second Mile Coffee, for our coffee for today, yung nainunom ni Diego, and of course, our desserts for this day.
All right, and I'd like to leave you with a quote that hopefully would calm your day. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. A quote from Winston Churchill. And that wraps up today's episode of Brunch.
Join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Lagunzad Castro.
And I'm definitely sure I'm Angelo Castro III. We are One News.
Ay, nalagyan. All sides, all the time.